Hi makeup friends, I hope you all glitter. I hope you all are doing well. I'm fighting up to try and get some decent lighting in this new house for you guys so I can film for you all. It is very late at night. It's almost midnight and I am now getting a chance to sit down and film for you guys. As I stated in my previous video that I was going to do quite a few videos well and get it filmed for you guys, but family ended up coming over, so my plans got squashed for that. So now it is the following day and it is midnight and I am filming for you guys. I just got home. I went out with my husband, so here I am. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to talk about my top 5 favorite foundations, and my plan initially was to do my top 3 drugstore and my top 3 high-end, but I don't have 3 high-end favorites, I only have 2, so I decided to make it into my top 5 foundations, both drugstore and high-end. So I'm just going to let you know what they are. Possibly where you can find it, and I have to let you know that I do have oily skin, but not all of these foundations are specifically targeted towards oily skin, so I will let you know how I make them work, and then you can determine if it's something that you want to try on your own. I put on the new this is the Stila, the liquid glitters. Now they are very beautiful. They make your eye look very beautiful, but the glitter kind of transfers up into your crease, as well as you do get a bit of fallout. Yes, I did get some fallout underneath here, and I heard the trick with that Stila glitter is you cannot blend over it once it's on. So do all of your blending and stuff before and then just put it on your lid. So that's what I tried to do, and I still got fallout, but they are very pretty. So I'm testing it out, and I do have this on for a good few hours now, and it hasn't really budged. It has smudged a tiny bit, but just the glitter part of it up there in my crease. So I started filming this video when I was filming my other one, and then family came over, so I had to pause the video in between, and then my plan was to actually continue the video and then join the 2 videos together, but they were here for a while, so it didn't really work out that way. So I'm just deciding to do it fresh for you all. So let's get on to the video. So I'm going to do from my favorite drugstore 1, 2, 3, favorite number 1, then number 2, then number 3 pick, and then for the high end I'll do my most favorite and then my second favorite. So my first pick and my favorite foundation from the drugstore is the Maybelline New York Fit Me Matte and Poreless foundation. This is what it looks like. I am 228 soft tan. I am MAC NC42 for reference, for those of you who, if you are my complexion, these shades would work for you. So I picked, this is my second bottle of this foundation. I love it to death. If I had only one drugstore foundation to pick forever, I would choose this one. Now, this foundation is not an extremely matte foundation like other drugstore ones that I have tried. For instance, the Loreal Infallible matte foundation. That is a very matte foundation. This one is matte, but it isn't that matte, which is why I like it. So this one does say poreless. I mean, I don't really realize if it makes me look pore free, but what I like about it is that I could get a good few hours of wear out of it. I want to say at least 4 to 5 hours before I have to blot and touch up with this foundation, and this foundation just looks really nice. It is a medium coverage foundation. You can build it up to get a fuller coverage. Now I will say with my foundations, I hardly ever do one layer. I almost always Sorry, I got an itchy nose. Sorry. I almost always do 2 layers of foundation regardless what foundation it is. Even sometimes high-end one, not sometimes, most of the time with my high-end foundations, I do 2 layers. It just makes me look a bit more complete. It makes my face look more covered. So I always do two layers of foundation, and I build up this one to, I don't want to say full coverage, but it's past medium, and it wears, I want to say 4 to 5 hours before I need to powder it. And this foundation just has your skin looking nice and healthy, and it's not overly drying, which is why I like it. So this would be my #1 pick from the drugstore. My second pick from the drugstore, believe it or not, this is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow Foundation. Now, as I mentioned, these foundations are not always targeted towards oily skin, and I don't have oily combination, I just have oily skin. Now, I get oily even on my cheeks and stuff. Some people just get oily on their forehead, their nose, and maybe their chin. I get oily all over, like my cheeks, I'm just a grease bag. But since I have been implementing my rosehip oil and I've been masking a bit more often, my skin has not been getting as oily as quickly and not as much oil. So this foundation, now the first time that I tried this foundation, it is a very runny foundation. Now I tried it and I thought that I would compare it to the Infallible Pro Matte Foundation. Now that foundation is a holy grail foundation for a lot of people, but I personally do not really like that foundation. It is too matte for my taste, and I have very oily skin, and I just find it is too drying. Now the foundation lasts you a very long time, and that's as much as I'll say about it. But when I put that foundation on, you can't even really powder your face because it's that dry looking already. I find it sinks into the lines. I find it looks, it's too dry and it's just too cakey for my liking. But this Pro Glow one, which is made for dry skin, I'll tell you, this foundation has your face looking so glowy, so healthy, and not glowy in a greasy, oily way, glowy in a healthy skin kind of way, which is why I like it. Anytime I wear this foundation, I get a ton of compliments asking me, are you sure you're not pregnant? Oh my gosh, you have that glow, you look so good. And it's the foundation. It ain't me all on my own. It ain't that I'm pregnant, because I ain't. It's the foundation. This foundation, if you want a glowy, healthy skin, radiant kind of look, I suggest this foundation. I really like it. I am in 208 Sun Beige. I believe I'm in 108. Yeah, 108 in the matte one. Now, how I do that matte one helps me to extend the wear of this one. So in that way, I can get that matte one used up. I don't really like using it on its own. I will go ahead and mix a little bit into this one, and it does help me to be able to keep my foundation before blotting a bit longer. So if I were to wear this on its own, I maybe get 3 or 4 hours before I need to touch up and stuff, because it is a more glowy foundation and it is a very thin foundation. So if you were to put on this, I would suggest using a brush over a beauty blender, just because you'll get a little more full coverage with this, because when I do put it on with the beauty blender shades it out even more, and it's already a kind of light foundation. I wouldn't say light coverage and I wouldn't say medium coverage. It's in between light and medium. But as I said, I always do 2 layers of foundation, and this works really nice for me. I really like this foundation. And even with the Marc Jacobs foundation, which is like a pure pigment foundation, sometimes you have very high coverage foundations and you don't want to look just one tone. You don't want to look just flat. You want your face to have some dimension, and this helps me achieve it. So this is a great mixing foundation. It's a great foundation all on its own, etc, etc, etc. This foundation is a really nice foundation. You can probably try to get this in Pennywise, Superfarm, Starlight. And for those of you who remember me talking about Vogue Chic by Charlene, she has these foundations and she sells them $65 a piece, which is a fantastic price because you will never pay $65 a piece TT for this foundation anyway. For those of you watching that are not from Trinidad, I am from Trinidad, and that is where I am speaking about that you could get these foundations. If you are from abroad, the States and Canada, etc, etc, these things should be readily available to you in Walmart and Target and many of the drugstores and stuff, so you shouldn't have a problem finding these. This one I got it in Walmart, but this one is available everywhere: Pennywise, Superfarm, Starlight, all of the drugstores. These are easy to get your hands on. This one, however, I don't think I have seen this one in Trinidad as yet. Please correct me if I'm wrong. If it is available in Trinidad, please leave a comment down below so others can know where to find it. This foundation is a Maybelline Superstay Better Skin Transforming Foundation. This color I have is in natural beige. It says with Actyl C, oil free, titanium dioxide, sunscreen, broad spectrum, SPF 15. Now this foundation is a really nice foundation, and it's very shocking that it has SPF in it, which I would say is not that easy to find in a drugstore. This foundation is a very nice, quick foundation. It says skin transforming. I mean, I don't know how much it really transforms your skin, but it is a quick foundation. It's really nice to just put on and go. You don't have to think about it too much. And if I couldn't find my other foundations, I would pick up this one. Now, I do have other drugstore ones, but they just don't appeal to me that much. These are my more reached for foundations, and this foundation will be fantastic for daytime because it does have SPF in it. However, sometimes foundations that have SPF in it means that you will get flashback if you were to take photos and stuff, so probably not put this one on for taking pictures, but for nice, like if I'm just going to run errands and stuff, I'll grab this foundation. It gives me a few hours, where I want to say maybe 4 to 5 before I need to touch up and powder and stuff, but it is a very nice foundation, just quick on the go. These foundations, I want to say from the drugstore, it is quite difficult to find a full coverage, very long wearing foundation at the drugstore. For me personally, I have not been able to find one that is very full coverage and very long lasting from the drugstore. So all of these are mostly medium, I would say light to medium coverage, but you can build them up. I do 2 layers just as I do with all of them, and this foundation works just fine for me. It's not overly drying, it's not overly wet looking. It's just a nice foundation and it lasts on my skin. Now, I have tried other foundations like the Loreal True Match foundation, and before I knew too much about makeup, that was my holy grail foundation because I never really used to explore anywhere outside of that. Now, I thought that Loreal at that time, was fantastic. Now, Loreal True Match has the one thing that I really like about it is that the color range, wow, anybody can find a shade in that foundation. However, on my oily skin, I get very minimal wear out of that foundation. It doesn't last me long at all, but it does have your skin looking very nice. So if you are more combo skin, or if you are dry skin, that L'Oreal True Match is a very nice one for you to try. But on oily skin girls, this one is a really nice option as well, just because it lasts a while on the skin and it doesn't look cakey and drying and all of that. So that's why I would choose those. And then my 2 favorite high-end foundations. This one is my #1 favorite foundation. I have it on anytime that I know I'm going out for a few hours and I don't want to touch up. this foundation, without even thinking about it, I grabbed for this foundation. Even on days when I'm just going to run errands, I want to put this on, but I need to kind of restrain myself so that I don't use it down before I travel again and can be able to pick it up. This is a Lancome Teint Idole Ultra 24-Hour Makeup. Love this stuff. Oh, the nice thing about this foundation, it comes with a pump. The others don't. This one is in a squeezy bottle, and this one you have to pour it out, which is not the greatest, but you know. This one comes with a pump. This foundation is kind of pricey. I think it's like $42 US, but this foundation is bomb. Now this one has SPF in it as well, but I have taken many pictures wearing this foundation, like especially when I go on date night and stuff with my husband. I always put on this foundation. Most of the time I'm wearing this one because it's my absolute favorite. It lasts forever. Your skin looks great. It doesn't get greasy. It just, anything good you can think about, that's this foundation. It is fantastic. I love it. I will continue to repurchase this until something comes along and blows me out of the water. But for now, I love this foundation. My shade in this one is 410 Bisque W, 410 BISW. That's my shade in this foundation, and I was color matched in Sephora for this one. This one says 24-hour makeup. I have not tested it to be a 24-hour foundation. I would never wear foundation for 24 hours. Even when I wear foundation for like 9-10 hours, I start to get panicked because I feel as though, oh my god, it's clogging my freaking pores. I need to go take it off. I need to scrub my face. I need to put on a mask just to draw out all of the balance of foundation. So, but if you are a person and you have very, very long days, this foundation is boss. I love it to death. This is my #1 pick in any foundation that I do have, and I have tons of foundation, but this one is everything freaking good. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Then my other favorite foundation, this one is the Marc Jacobs Remarkable foundation. This is a very pricey foundation, and what I do is when I travel, if I travel once or twice for the year, I always try to pick up 1 or 2 foundations from Sephora when I travel, because I always like to have the option of having drugstore foundations and high-end foundations. So this one was on my list the last trip or 2 that I took, and I picked it up. My shade in this is 44 Golden Medium. And this one says full cover foundation. Now this one really is a full cover foundation. This one comes with this is not a dropper, it's like a stick with a ball at the end, and you just go ahead and dot it on. Now this foundation, you have to start off with a very little bit of it because it spreads and covers really, really well. But when I picked this up in Sephora, the girl warned me. She said, do you have a good hydrating primer? I said, but I have very oily skin, you know. She said that doesn't matter. You need to put on, you know, moisturizer and stuff before this one. She said, because this one can be very drying because of how full coverage it is. Now this foundation, I hardly ever use it by itself. I will use this foundation to amp up a drugstore foundation. So if I'm wearing this one and I want to extend the wear of it, I can mix these two together and I get a really nice combination, because you get the long wear of this one, but you get the glowiness of this one, but you get the full coverage of this one. So it's a really nice match made in heaven. But this foundation is a fantastic foundation because it's pure pigment. It's nothing else but pigment. Some of the other ones, no other foundation that I have used has come close to this in coverage. This one is my favorite because it does not only cover, it's not as full coverage as this, but it covers, it lasts. It's just everything good about this foundation. Is it anything you could think about that you want in a foundation is that Lancome. But this one is a really, really nice foundation to have in your collection just because of the coverage. And This one can be a bit drying, but I hardly ever use it by itself. I use it as a mix-in with my other foundations. It's almost like having custom, like the custom cover drops that from Cover FX, where you can add pigment to your foundations to make them like that. That's how this one is, but it can be worn on its own and it lasts for hours. It's freaking real full coverage. If you want to hide a maxi underneath this, you could. It's that good. So this is my second pick. So those are my foundation picks from, oops, sorry. These are my foundation picks from the drugstore. These are my foundation picks from Sephora high-end foundations. So guys, I hope you found this video helpful. If there are any questions that I did not answer while doing this, please ask me down below and I will try to answer them for you. These foundations are my personal favorite, and I just thought that I would share them with you to see if you would want to try these out. So it's very late, it's midnight, and I am just up filming for you guys. As I said, I'm trying to get more videos out to you. I am going to film another video after this, and then going forward I may do some more vlog style type videos, just because it's not all of the time I have time to sit down and film, because look at the time that I have to sit down and film, and then it's a issue with lighting and all of that. So in my previous videos I did that video in the daytime, so I got a lot better lighting. But now it's so late at night and this light is in my eye. I don't know how this lighting might come across to you all. It's really bugging me that I could see some gray hairs here. So annoying. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave me a comment. Please like and subscribe if you aren't already. Please, when you subscribe, or if you are already subscribed, hit the little bell that is next to the subscribe button, and that notifies you when I upload videos, just in case you don't see me sharing it on Facebook and stuff. So you will get a notification when I upload. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.